Better than the DeWalt, eh? More torque than the DeWalt, huh? And a longer runtime? Hello, everyone, Randy here, and today we're looking at the Hercules drill here from Harbor Freight. And I'm sure anybody out there that's familiar with tools has probably heard of Harbor Freight and their, shall we say, cheaper tools? Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, they've come out with a new line of cordless tools here. They call it the Hercules series here, cordless drill. And I'm sure if you've seen their ad, they claim, you know, more powerful, and they're comparing it to a certain model of DeWalt, by the way. More powerful than the DeWalt, longer run time, you know, what they all got here. 2x more powerful, 25% more compact, and 3 times longer runtime. Right. Oh, they got little asterisks on there. Wonder where, let's see what's here. Asterisk. Based on stated specifications of our standard product. Based on stated specifications of our standard product. Interesting. Anyway, let's unbox it here and see what we got. Okay. Get her open here. Oh, I'll say it does come in a nice case. That is kind of nice. And there we go. There is the Hercules. Comes with directions. Yeah, we don't need those. Okay, the drill. We'll note one thing about this. It says it has a Jacobs chuck on it. And of course, those are known to be really good chucks. I'm assuming this isn't like some cheap knockoff version of it, I won't think. I want to say the chuck has a nice feel to it. Okay, battery. 2.5 amp hour lithium ion battery, 20 volt system here. Has a nice solid feel there, not loose. Fast charger. I wonder how fast a fast charger is. It doesn't say. A lot of times, like the DeWalt, they like to claim 30-minute chargers. I don't see that claim on this one. And then we do have a couple of accessories here. So 2 drill bits and looks like 2 of the same number 2 drill bit or chucks here for putting in screws. Looks like they're both the same. Might even be the same drill bits too. You know what? I think they are. Both 2 of the same drill bits and 2 Phillip heads there. Looks like they're actually halfway decent ones too from the looks of it. Okay, so what everyone wants to see, the drill. Let's just set this off to the side here. Has a nice weight to it. I got a Milwaukee here just for comparison. I would say they're identical, real close, maybe not exact. Chucks, I believe this is a Jacobs chuck on the Milwaukee as well. This one just a little bit tighter, you can tell. Hasn't been used, obviously brand new. Feels good though. High and a low speed. 1 through 17 on the torque settings plus a drill mode. I gotta point this out. Look how many the Milwaukee has. 16. 1 more than the Milwaukee. Okay, interesting. Wow. That has a really hard break on it. I don't know if folks will be able to see that or not. The way it breaks there, you can probably see that sparking pretty good in there. Chuck feels really good though. That is nice. I do like that. Okay, and just let's get the DeWalt out here. So there is the DeWalt. Now this isn't the exact model of DeWalt they are comparing this one against. I don't have that one, but I do have a 20 volt max DeWalt. And of course they are comparing it against a 20 volt compact model of the DeWalt. So it's probably just a little bit small in this one. You can see a size comparison here. This is a compact Milwaukee. So the compact Milwaukee, wow, almost identical in size. identical height-wise. You can see the DeWalt here just a little bit taller and obviously quite a bit longer. The DeWalt is also, the DeWalt might be a little bit heavier. The DeWalt here does have a little bit bigger battery. It is a 3 amp hour battery. And of course, the DeWalt, at least the one I have, has 21 chuck settings on it, or ratchet settings for the chuck. And then of course a drill and a hammer mode. This one will do hammer mode. One thing I really like about the DeWalt, it has speed settings 1 through 3. So not just 1 and 2, it has 1 through 3. So anyway, let's put it through some paces here and see what it can do. Okay, everyone, for this first test here, I got some man-sized lag bolts. These things are ginormous. Just for comparison against the drill here, or even the DeWalt, these things are big. So we're going to drill a hole in the 6x6 here, and we'll see how far each one of these drills can drive it in. Keep in mind here, the Milwaukee is an 18 volt, 1.5 amp hour battery. Yes, 1.5 amp hour battery. The Hercules, 2.5 amp hour battery, and the DeWalt, a 3 amp hour battery. And that doesn't really mean much power wise. They're all going to have probably pretty close to the same power, at least the 20 volt anyway. The voltage is probably going to make more difference than the amp hour. The 3 amp hour just means this one should last longer than this one should last longer than this one, in theory. I will note though, if you look, the size of both batteries, almost identical. So this is a 1.5 amp hour, this claims to be a 2.5 amp hour. Almost identical size battery though, bit interesting. Whereas again, if you look at the size of this battery, you can see 3 amp hour, it's definitely quite a bit bigger. Okay, we'll start off with the Milwaukee here, and I'm using a 13/32 drill bit here. Probably a little bit smaller, but I want these lag bolts to go in nice and hard. Hopefully that'll give it the maximum resistance here. So, we're gonna drill a hole, speed 2, put it on drill mode. Okay, hole drilled. Switching to socket. And let's just put it in number 1. Again, drill mode. Oh, and that's where she runs out of power. That's probably also about the bottom of the hole, if I had to guess. Yes, that's probably actually a little past the bottom of the hole. Okay, next up, the Hercules. Harbor Freight, of course. And how about right in there somewhere? Speed number 2, put it on drill mode here. Okay, something I think I noticed right away, this appears to be a much higher speed drill. Which in drilling situations, at least for wood and stuff, is probably kind of nice. Okay, and here we go, and we'll put it in number 1 as well here. Oh, I think it went just like 1 thread deeper than the Milwaukee, 1 thread. Okay, and then the big boy, we'll put it in drill mode, put it in speed 3. We'll pick somewhere right about there, so. Okay, and we'll switch to the socket. And set it to speed 1. Okay, DeWalt, don't fail me now. Oh, it's slowing. Oh, the DeWalt got beat by everything. That's a shame. But wait a minute, maybe this DeWalt has a trick up its sleeve. Hang on there, boys. Yep, I think the DeWalt's got her. Okay, folks, for our first test there, the Hercules won. I'm kind of surprised by that. beat the Milwaukee by about 1 thread on the lag bolt here. These are 1/2 inch, I think they're like 10 or 12 inch long lag bolts. However, you can see once we put the bigger battery on the DeWalt one, hands down. In fact, it had so much torque I couldn't hang on to it. I do want to mention one thing. The DeWalt here is probably, I think, about 4 or 5 years old. So keep that in mind with this test. The DeWalt is by far the oldest drill here. So these batteries have definitely had some use on them. So that might affect this test result a little bit. And that's why I used one of my newer batteries. So with the newer battery there, no competition. Like I said, I could not hang on to it. Milwaukee's almost new, and of course, you know, the Hercules is brand new. But yes, Hercules by about 1 thread there, and of course the DeWalt, that's the DeWalt one there. Anyway, let's try some drilling here. Okay, next up here we got a couple of spade bits. 1.5 inch. Big spade bit there, and then we got a really long one. For those of you who watched our stump removal videos, this is the one we used for grinding or doing holes in the stump. I think that's longer than 12, maybe 16-inch one, something like that. And then we got a 1 1.25 inch regular drill bit here. So we're gonna give that a try as well. A couple different options. So we'll start off with the Milwaukee again. We'll drill 3 holes, or let's do 2 holes first. We'll do a hole with this and a hole with this drill bit. This is just a 1-inch spade, so let's see how that goes. Okay, we'll start off with the Milwaukee here in drill mode, speed 2 with a 1.5 inch. It keeps stalling out, I'll note. So the stopping is not for me. The drill is actually stopping. Battery should be 3 bars. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Probably over temp protection on, oh, down to 2 bars already. Wow. I'm going to try to get a full depth hole if I can, so about up to the chuck. Okay, we'll call that about depth there. And I think let's, seeing as how that went not so well, let's just go straight to the Hercules next. Okay, next up, the Hercules 1.5 inch spade bit. And let's go right there. Oh, and put it in speed 2. Oh, and it stopped as well. So far, definitely beating the Milwaukee. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, next up, the DeWalt, speed 3, drill mode, and let's try to drill right next to the other hole there. Well, folks, I think we can safely say, hands down, without a questionable shadow of a doubt here, the DeWalt won. And, you know, show off too, it went deeper and we went all the way down to the chuck there as well. Didn't really stop at all, except when it bound up in there. That stopped, well, it's maybe 2 or 3 times at the most, but we never outright died and you had to wait for it to cool down or over voltage or whatever's going on. It's probably either over temp or over voltage, something like that. I'm not sure exactly what with these two. Keep in mind too, this, you know, is more of a full-sized drill, and these are considered more compact. But I was still using the older 20-volt battery, which is, like I said, probably good 4 or 5 years old, something like that. So I think with that, let's do another round here. The Milwaukee battery is sitting at 2 bars. The Hercules battery is sitting at 3. And the DeWalt battery, unfortunately, these do not have any way of telling how charged they are, but I'm sure there's plenty in it yet. Okay, let's drill at least one more hole here. See how this goes. I'm going to try to get it ready in between these two. It should be pretty close. Okay, there we go. Sitting at, whoa, oh, it says 2 bars now. It was down to 1. Okay, back to the Milwaukee again. I'll try to drill another hole right next to these here. The Milwaukee definitely does not like this. Oh yeah, there we go. You can tell. Oh, I believe that is over temp of the battery, I assume. Oh. Try not to do that. Yes, over temp of the battery, I'm pretty sure. And I'm trying to take it real easy on it too here. I'm not really pushing down on this. I'm definitely going a whole lot lighter on the Milwaukee here than I was the Hercules. Oh, I think we just ran out of battery. So that was, well, maybe it's not out of battery. It felt like it was because it slowed down. Oh, are we not going to go again? Maybe we're done. Yeah, that might have been the end of the battery there. Okay, we're going to call that for the Milwaukee then. That was 1 and that's almost 2 holes. 1 3/4 of a hole. We'll call that 1 3/4 of a hole. Okay, DeWalt, show them what you got. There we go, 2 holes. Just like that, DeWalt doesn't even struggle a bit. Okay, back to the Hercules here for a 3rd hole for it. And at 2 battery bars left, I might add. Oh, and it's done too. Let's see what's here. Still shows 2 bars. The battery is getting quite hot though, so that was probably over temp protection. And it doesn't want to seem to go now, so we probably gotta wait for it to cool off. The Milwaukees and the Hercules definitely don't seem to like these 1.5-inch spade bits. Okay, while we wait for the Hercules to cool back off, DeWalt's out at it again. There you go, hole, just like that. DeWalt barely even struggles. Okay, there we go, folks. I think we're gonna wrap it up with the testing there. The Milwaukee is pretty much dead. Keep in mind, 1.5 amp hour battery. The Hercules is 2 bars left, but the battery's simply too hot. It does run again, by the way, but I think we'll call it good at that. And then the DeWalt is still charging full steam ahead, drilling these 1.5-inch holes. No trouble at all. We got 3 full holes. I thought about drilling 1 more yet, just 4 holes with the DeWalt, but I figured, 3, good enough. I'm pretty sure it'll probably easily do another 3 without any trouble, and that would involve chopping up a lot of wood there. We could probably get another hole, I'm thinking, out of this one, yeah, maybe another hole, maybe 2. But the DeWalt, again, easy, probably another 3 holes, maybe 4. Milwaukee, you could probably, now that it's cooled down, it probably could finish its hole, but I think that's about it. So 2 holes, plus 1 lag bolt, and the hole to make the lag bolt. So that's where the Milwaukee ended up. These batteries are all fully charged when I started, by the way. So all batteries were fully charged. I had them on the charger just before we started doing the test here. So they came off the charger and were fully charged. Same thing with the Hercules, the DeWalt, and the Milwaukee. So the Milwaukee definitely died first as far as the battery goes. And you could definitely tell when drilling the 1.5-inch holes. The Hercules was beating it. It did not have as much power. The Milwaukee does not have as much power as the Hercules did. Also, I noticed it seems like the Hercules has a little bit higher speed on the RPMs. I don't know if it says on here. 2,000 RPMs on here it says. So 2,000 RPMs in high speed mode. The DeWalt is also, according to this, 2,000 RPMs. It doesn't, that feels faster. And the Milwaukee, 1,800 RPM, so just a little bit slower there. Still not bad though, 1,800 RPMs. But yeah, definitely seems like a nice drill. Would I recommend it? Yeah, it seems to work good. No issues with it. It does only come with 1 battery though, so keep that in mind. If you do decide to get like one of these, you'll probably want to order a 2nd battery, and there is room in the case to hold 2 batteries. So yeah, definitely seems like a nice little drill. Again, does it beat the DeWalt? It actually did on the lag bolt test. I don't know what was up with the DeWalt on that one. If the battery, like I said, the battery's a little bit old. Once we put this battery on it though, the new battery, this is a 6 amp hour battery, then it had no issue. Again, like I said, I could not hang on to it putting that lag bolt in. And keep in mind, when we drilled the hole for it, the drill is probably only that long, and we drove it into like there, so it was driving this in without a hole. So that is pretty good. Yeah, again, interesting to see how these two, the Hercules and the Milwaukee, did not like the 1.5 inch spade bits. That's kind of interesting. The DeWalt just slaughtered the competition in that class. I'm kind of curious, like I said, why it didn't do quite as good on the lag bolt test there. I don't know what was up with that. Maybe just the low speed mode on the DeWalt. Maybe that has something to do with it. Could very well be. Maybe, let's see, what is the low speed on this one? Low on this is 575, so 575 RPMs. This is 600 RPMs. And this is 450 RPMs on the Milwaukee. So 450, definitely a lot slower on number one there. Interesting. Anyway, seems well built, nice ratchet settings, nice click. You can feel a nice detent on that. Actually, I don't know if that's really metal. I don't know what they call that. Same thing on here, and same thing for the gearbox on the Milwaukee and the DeWalt as well. Feels good in the hand. Nice, lightweight, compact driver. For a Harbor Freight product, it seems surprisingly good. And I'd have to say surprisingly good. The only thing, like I said, I don't know that it holds up 2x more powerful than the DeWalt. Definitely not. 25% more compact. Well, keep in mind this is not a compact DeWalt driver, so I don't know about that one. I don't have the compact model that they're comparing this to. And 3x longer runtime. Again, they're not necessarily comparing that to the DeWalt there, but yeah, it seems like it's good. I think keep in mind here as well, I think the compact DeWalt driver is 1.5 amp hours. So, I mean, a 2.5 amp hour battery versus a 1.5 amp hour battery. Of course, the 2.5 amp hour battery is going to last longer. Again, 2.5, 3 amp, 1.5 amp hour. Or, if you really want up the ante, 6 amp hour. Anyway, folks, with that, I think we're going to wrap up the video here. If you folks have any other suggestions you'd like to see me test with these drills, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.